Hello and welcome to my beautiful, vibrant souls who are attracted to today's reading. I say today's reading, it's timeless. So whenever this reading is finding you, know that these messages are meant for you. I'm doing finger guns. I don't want to do that. Don't know why I'm doing it. All right, here we are. So today's reading is going to be looking at a topic where it is what do people learn from you? Now, you can be asking this with a specific person in mind or kind of the general public. You could be asking this with like career in mind, like what do people learn from you, at work? What do people learn from you in an academic setting? If you're a teacher, then it's both. And that's a conundrum I was not prepared for. Now, but this is just really looking at, what do people learn from you? This could be in a very concrete way. This could be in a very spiritual way. This could be what people gather from your energy, like what people pick up on. So feel free to kind of apply it as you see fit within those contexts. We do have 3 options to choose from today. I'm just peeking to make sure we're still recording. Yay, because I bumped the desk and the camera. Woo, that's no good. So we have 3 options to choose from today. I'm just going to hold these crystal cards up so you can see each one, and that way you can kind of make your selection. So we have option 1 right here. We have option 2. And we have option 3. So take your time. You can pause the video if you need more time to think about it. Meditate on the stacks in front of you. And then whichever one you resonate with the most, you can head down to the times. Wow. Come on, Vanessa. The timestamps in the description box below. And that way head to your selected option and figure out what it is that people most learn from you. So with that, I'm going to get started with option 1. Okay. Hi, option 1. Hello, my lovely, lovely group 1s. Okay. So when I was shuffling everything, I was going to say deck, no, but this group had like this kind of fun, playful energy. I was seeing a lot of purple, which is a really spiritual color for me. But it wasn't like super duper serial. It was kind of just like, it was light. It was fun. I feel like you bring a sense of, like you bring a little bit of magic into, magic is real. You bring a little bit of magic into every situation that you touch, and people kind of just notice that. I'm hearing like water off a duck's back, so maybe you just kind of roll with the punches very easily. It's like you always land on your feet kind of a thing. You've got a little touch of magic about you, and people really learn from how you handle life and how you deal with life coming at you. So that was the first thing I was getting, and I really, really like that. Okay, so I'm gonna lay probably all your cards out, and we're gonna talk about them. So you guys got, oh, did I bump the camera again? I did a little bit, but it's okay. You guys got, oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see. Okay, we have happiness. That's beautiful. Look at this. We have dolphins present. We have a lot of the color green and a lot of blue. So again, that heart-throat chakra combination. Dolphins are also really psychic and telepathic animals in my estimation. And everyone's estimation. That's not new. Professor Sinessa telling you shit you already know. Oh, I'm dying. I'm in a funny mood today, you guys. So yes, I feel like you're very in tune with your heart-centered truth. As a side note too, this card says, I'm aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. And I know I just said, I'm going to lay out all the cards and then talk about them. But you know what? Me from 10 seconds ago is a liar, apparently. Yeah, I feel like you're very in tune with your heart-centered truth. You follow your 6th sense. You follow your 3rd eye chakra toward your happiness. Your guiding star is your happiness. And I feel like you bring a lot of happiness. I feel like people learn that it's okay to go after what it is that they want, and that can be part of their life path, part of their divinely inspired plan, incorporates their own happiness. So I really like that you're bringing that to the table. We need more people like that. So you guys got, yeah, holy shit. Okay, aquatic animals ×2. You guys got Treasure Island. And there's a little turtle here. I had so many turtle dreams recently. I don't know why I'm sharing that. But this is card number 9, in case that's important for you. And it's this little turtle, and there's a treasure chest, and people are just big chilling, and it's everything you could ever want out of a turtle, toting stuff on its little back. So yeah, this is, well, let me get all your stuff out, and we're going to talk about it just because I have a lot to say. So you guys also got, oh, you got the lily, majesty and virtue. The lily is the emblem rare of many virtues, good and rare. I don't know how I feel about rhyming rare with rare, but you know what? I'm not here to be a critic. So here we are. And I kind of want to save this to the end. I want to save your crystal card for the end. So for tarot, you have, ooh, the 2 of Wands. Okay, I already see where this is going. This is the Food Fortunes deck, by the way. All my decks are going to be linked in the description box below. You guys also got, yeah, the 9 of Swords reversed. This is perfect, you guys. All right. This is perfect. And the Ace of Wands. I'm going to pee my pants. And it's in reverse. Okay. All right. I already know pretty much exactly where this is going. I keep bumping stuff. Is it? Oh, it's a little bit uneven. I'm sorry. I try my best, but that's not my strong suit. Okay. So this is pretty clear. For a lot of you, you run into people when they're at a crossroads in their life with this 2 of Wands, and they're really, really stressing out about it, right? And with the traditional 2 of Wands, the thing that I always find really interesting is that if you're familiar with the tarot, it's a guy, and he's standing on this wall of this castle wall, or this wall going around the outside of some type of fortress, and he's looking out over the wall across the water, and he's got a wand in his left hand and the world in his right, and then to his right, bolted to the wall, there is a wand, right? So he's sitting there thinking about how he wants to move forward, what kind of path he wants to take. And for me, with the 2 of Wands, you know, there's the one that's bolted to the wall, and that's the more known, established, or traveled path. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? If that's the wand that they choose, that's totally fine. But he already has a wand in his left hand. And so I like to imagine if you kind of press play on that scene and he were forced to pick in a moment and take action, he would probably take the wand that's already in his hand. Meaning that whenever I see the 2 of Wands, this is about intuitively, you already know which way you want to go. You're just trying to figure out a way to get there, or you're trying to justify your desire to go that path. And this is what people learn from you. I feel like if you pick this group, you're very good at connecting to what makes you really, truly happy in the heart and soul. And you help model that for other people, right? Excuse me, with majesty and virtue, you believe in your own majesty. You believe in your own self-sovereignty to rule your own life. And I know that sounds kind of that sounds a little cheesy, but it's true. I don't know what I'm getting for some of you. Your name might be Lily, or that might be your middle name or something like that. I don't know why, but we're going to throw it out there. But yeah, this is I feel like you generally find a way to make what you want happen, in the sense that if something is really meaningful to you, you go after it and you don't hesitate. You don't feel bad about it. You know that being happy is going to be in the best benefit of all, right? You pursuing a path that is lively and, you know, invigorating for you, that makes you happy, is your greatest, because look at the little turtle's heading toward the happiness card. This is your greatest path to success, and you don't care how long it takes, right? It's kind of that energy of you can travel the longer road if you enjoy the journey more, right? If you're enjoying the scenery more, you don't mind the extra mileage, right? And this is kind of the energy is slow and steady wins the race, but head toward what makes you happy. Put in the time, put in the effort to make yourself happy, to pick a path that's in alignment with you, and don't care about what works for others. Don't let other people dictate the terms of your own happiness in your life. And I feel like you're not up in people's faces about it. You're not telling them what to do. You're just modeling this by living your own life, right? So you kind of model when people are in this crossroad energy of the 2 of Wands, especially with the sun and moon here, they're caught between their empowerment, their enlightenment, and their fears. So their soul self and their fears. I feel like that's when you really shine in their life and you show them that they don't have to have, this is like I said, the Nine of Swords, but it's reversed. It's like they don't have to have that anxiety about making the wrong choice with the Ace of Wands reversed. So you're very much about living in your soul-centered truth, your heart-centered truth, and following your intuition. And I feel like that's where your magic is, and that's what people really learn from you. I also want to say too, because the lilies are always really associated for me with death. I feel like you're somebody who you're not afraid of changes. You see the majesty in it. You see the divinity in change. And so it doesn't even feel like this big death. It's not something that you resist. I feel like you understand inherently that change is a natural part of living, and you generally flow with those changes because there's this understanding that to get to where you want to go, you have to kind of be willing to let some things go in order to welcome other things. I feel like if you pick this pile, you're very comfortable with your own energy. You're very comfortable with the dynamics of how your energy moves, and just very comfortable with energy movement dynamics in general. And people notice that. It's like you don't put up, I feel like you don't hold on to things for a very, very long time. Or like you don't hold on to things past their expiration date. Like you might have something where it's really, really, you might be struggling to get over it for a little bit. You're struggling to let it go. And then one day, boom, it's just like you're fine about it, right? And this is because that's the time when it was supposed to end, right? That's the time when it was supposed to, it's finally time to move forward. I also feel like you're somebody who you trust your timing relatively, like implicitly. You know when it's time to move, and you're not really bothered as much by outside pressure. And I think people really learn that from you. People kind of learn that everything has cycles and everything moves in divine timing, and people see how much that works for you and they learn from you in that way. So it's that kind of dualistic thing about going after what truly makes you happy, as well as learning how to let things happen in their own time. So I really like that. So let's take a look at your final card, because I think this is pretty straightforward and I love that. Ooh, you have Emetrine. Intuition. Oh, what the fuck were you just saying, you guys? I am fully aligned with my intuition. I trust this powerful wisdom to guide me. Hell yeah, dog. Absolutely you do. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot more to say about that. Like, I want to see it in its other side. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's really what's going on here. Is I feel like you're just so deeply in tune with your intuition, with your higher self, possibly with your guides as well. You're very, very in tune with source energy and the flow of those cycles, and going toward what it is that you truly feel called to. That's so cool. I don't look at these, I swear to God, before I pick them. I try to experience them as much as possible with you. Like sometimes a card will flip over while I'm shuffling, and so I can't avoid that. But generally speaking, I don't look at them. So I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool, you guys. I'm dying. So yeah, I think that's just about everything, excuse me, that I have for group 1. Congratulations. This is a really beautiful skill set to master, and I'm sure you bring a lot of positive energy and a lot of light to people's lives. So good for you guys. But I think that's everything I'm seeing for group 1. If you are interested in a personal reading, please feel free to check out all my information in my shop, which is in the description box below. But other than that, I am wishing you guys the best, brightest, and most beautiful things life has to offer. And with that, I'm going to move to group 2. Bye, guys. Okay, hi group 2. Hang on, I'm just making sure the camera's still going. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm always afraid about that. Okay, I just bumped it. No, I'm making the fearful thing happen. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Sweet. Hi, group 2. Okay, so this is a very different energy than group 1. This feels a lot deeper. This feels like deeply empathic, very psychic, very like group 1 was very intuitive, but this feels like very, very psychic. This is something where I'm also getting like deep waters, also like deep kind of womb energy, for lack of a better term. So I feel like you're somebody who's very nurturing. You're somebody who's able to provide nurturing energy to other people at a period in their journey. Sorry, my chair is moving. I'm trying to get comfortable. At a period in their journey where they are very much in need of a safe place to heal and grow. You might be, you might be parents yourselves. You might work with children. You might just kind of, again, like really find that what I'm hearing is you've run into people at a point in their life when everything has just gone to shit. And they're just like, they're beside themselves. And I feel like this is where you come into their lives a lot of the time. Yeah. So let's see what you get. I'm going to save this card for the end because I want to. So let's see what you have come out. So what do people learn from you? Oh, you have imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Okay, so that makes sense with that womb energy, that creation energy. We'll see what else you get. Chaos and conflict. All right, there it is. This is card 33, by the way, that reduces to a 6, but we also have a master number on the board. Okay. I think I'm seeing where this is going, but let's see what else we got. Ooh, wow, we have creativity twice. Okay, so we have Amaryllis, which is determination and creative achievement. It says, you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And it's Maya Angelou. There you go. And then for your tarot, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. This is the Food Fortunes deck, by the way. All my decks are linked in the description box in case you're interested. I love this deck. This is, chef's kiss. Beautiful. You have, oh yeah, okay, the Knight of Cups reversed. And the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Oh, okay. Okay, let's talk about this. So like I said, you meet people at a place in their life when they are in this energy of like chaos, conflict. And I feel for many people, this is conflict within themselves, right? Because if you notice, we have the zebra with like giraffe skin, and it's kind of unclear if the giraffe skin is falling away or the zebra skin is falling away. But you, excuse me, you meet people with this 33 here at a time when they're being encouraged to rise higher. They're being encouraged to step farther and faster into their authenticity. And I feel like for many of the people you meet, this is because they have either missed or ignored the signs. And it's almost like this tower moment energy. Things had to be broken down. You're like kicked down. Like things had to be broken down in order to rebuild. And this is where you kind of step into people's lives. And with this creative energy showing up twice, I feel like this is, you help people figure out how they want to rebuild themselves. Especially with the Nine of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Pentacles reversed, and the Knight of Cups reversed. I feel like you come in at a point in people's lives where they're feeling pretty low, not gonna lie. They're not feeling super confident. Excuse me. They're not feeling very energized in their own life with a little cup of coffee here. They're not feeling like, because this is the, independent, free, self-confident card. And so they're feeling none of those things, essentially. They're feeling very weighed down. They're feeling very trapped. They're feeling stuck by the weight of and the inertia of their own life, right? And they're feeling like they can't even really begin this new journey with the Page of Pentacles. They don't even know where to start, and they just feel defeated with the Knight of Cups reversed. They feel like emotionally defeated and defeated in their physical reality. Like they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. Yeah, they're not really sure how to move forward, right? There are mountains in the background of this card. So it's like all they see is this long ass path and all the obstacles in front of them. And I feel like by the time you find people in their lives, they're really at this point, and this shot glass is empty too. So it's like they're at this point where it's like they're just ready for a drink. That's pretty much it. Like they kind of don't know what to do, and they kind of feel like they want to give up. And I feel like you do inspire people to envision the life they want for themselves, even if it's different than what was given to them, right? Even if it means they have to kind of think outside the box, they have to, excuse my burp, go a different direction. I feel like you encourage them to do that, right? Because you know what I'm almost getting with this image? I know this is going a little deep here, but like, look at how we have this one point and we have like these green pieces, and it's really different than the stripy pieces. This feels like there is this inevitability to whatever it is people, like the people you help, the people who learn from you, there's this inevitability to who they are becoming, right? Sorry if you have the glare here. To who they are becoming. And I feel like you catch them in the moment where everything that's not the true them is just like, again, breaking away, falling off. I guess it kind of looks like the zebra skin is the one that's falling off. So maybe it's different. Yeah. Like they're being encouraged to grow and to be their authentic selves, even if that means being different than what they have been or what people expect of them. And so I feel like you catch them when all of these pieces are kind of, all of the old is falling away and all of the new is converging, but it hasn't come together yet. And so people are just feeling kind of like, you know, scared and lost and bewildered and beside themselves. They're losing everything without seemingly having anything given to them, right? And I always say this for, if you've ever gotten a personal reading from me, I say this a lot where I'm like, you know, whenever it comes to change, we think about the things we have to give up. But this is why I don't like to call something, you know, a sacrifice or a change, right? It's an exchange with spirit. You give up parts of your old life, and in exchange, you get this new life. And I feel like the people that you help, they're in this place where they've given over their old life and they're still waiting for a spirit to hand them their new life. And it's just taking a little bit of time. They're not there yet. And they also still have to make decisions about what direction they want to go, right? And it's like they see, again, that whole journey in front of them and they're kind of just like, fuck this. And I feel like you meet people when they're kind of in a place of despair. And the reason why people can learn from you, and take this, because I feel like you bring this to people, you help them envision what it is they want. You might be somebody who's like a really skilled, like motivational speaker. You might do well as a counselor, as a therapist. You might do well as a life coach. It's just you're able to meet people where they're at emotionally, and you're able to help elicit and draw out what it is that they want for themselves. You're able to help them create a vision of where they want to go and possibly an action plan for how to get there, right? And help really get them to get into the space of determination about creating their own future according to what it is that they most deeply desire. And so this may have been a process that you yourself have been through, especially, I don't know why I'm getting with the Nine of Pentacles reversed. If you had like, if this happened on the heels of like a really bad breakup or something like that, this was something where it's like, you have been through this process yourself. You may be somebody who is just kind of always been a little bit different, done your own thing, a little eccentric, and you really had to build your own happiness for yourself, build your own paradise for yourself. And as a result, I think you have a lot of empathy for people going through that, and you also know how to guide people through that. So what people learn from you, either directly or indirectly, is how to have agency over their own happiness, their own destiny, their own futures, and that comfort that it will be okay, either because you're directly comforting them or they see that you have been through it and that you're going to make it, and you're like, you made it, you're okay, you made the journey, and it's better, you know, your life is better now for it, or because you're actively comforting them in that regard. Trying to see if I get anything else before I flip your final card. Now let's flip it. Let's see what we get here. So you guys got, oh, azurite, expanded awareness. My awareness is expanding with an abundance of clarity. Yes, you help people's awareness to expand so they can start to make these decisions for themselves. I love azurite. But yeah, it's like you're helping their awareness of their own patterns, of their own desires. Because like I said, it's this process of both breakdown and then rebuilding, right? And I feel like what people learn from you is both how to go through this process, but also how to almost like take a step back and be the observer of their own life instead of solely the participant. and be able to see their own patterns, be able to kind of see the bigger picture a little bit more. Again, very psychic energy. You might be very clairsentient, claircognizant, very empathic. You can just connect with people on that level, and I feel like you can help them gain insights about themselves, their patterns, and their emotions that they themselves might be too invested in the situation to see clearly. So you come in and you meet them where they're at, and you help lead them into this new part of their life, this expanded awareness and expanded reality that they are going to be experiencing. So that's dope as hell. Yeah, and I think this is pretty much everything I'm seeing for group 2. I hope you guys are really, really proud of yourself. It's tough to do that work, but I'm sure a lot of people are really grateful for where, you meeting people where they're at, and it's a beautiful thing. So I'm proud of you. I know we don't know each other and you don't need my validation, but I'm proud of you. But yeah, so I think that's everything I have for group 2. If you are interested in a personal reading, feel free to check out my shop. The link is in the description box below. I have a myriad of readings. And if you're interested in this one for yourself, please feel free to DM me. I'm happy to do a custom one for you. But other than that, I'm wishing you guys the best, the brightest, and the most beautiful things that life has to offer. And I'm going to move to group 3. Bye, guys. Okay. Hi, group 3. Oof, excuse me. All right, so I want to say that all of the piles today have been very different in terms of the energy, but you guys, when I was shuffling for you, I was getting kind of like an 8th house, Scorpio, Kali Ma, kind of like sacred destruction sort of energy. It felt weighty, it felt hefty. So whatever this is, whatever comes out, because I haven't looked at your cards yet, I feel like you have a very distinct spiritual purpose, and I do feel like I'm getting the word abrupt. So maybe you help bring in abrupt change for people. You really abruptly shift somebody's perspective on things. And I feel like whatever this is that people learn from you, it might not be well received at first, but then people are always grateful for it later on. So you might have this experience where, like, if you call somebody out on something, they're pissed at first, but then, like, a few weeks, few months, a year, a couple years later, they come back and they're like, hey, I'm sorry I flew off the handle. I had time to think about it. Or, life experience has shown me you were right and I couldn't hear you at the time. There's something where this feels like you have a very spiritual purpose in people's lives, and it has to do with, like, I keep seeing somebody like taking the back of somebody's head and making them look at something. So it's like, look at it. It kind of has that energy where it's like whatever it is that you bring to people that they learn from you, they really needed to learn it and they weren't learning it another way. And so I think this can be intense, whether it feels really positive in the moment or really negative, but it's so intense because whatever it is that people learn from you, it's something that they have not been able to learn prior. So Spirit really has to hammer it home. And that's why I feel like, if you've had a lot of intense experiences in your life, that may be a part of it, is because people learn very important lessons from you. It feels like stuff that they have ignored. It's not even ignored. It's like things that they have not been able to see, or things that they have been constantly misinterpreting, or it's just like lessons they keep having to do over and over and over and over again. And it's kind of like their guides are like, okay, we're done with this, like, cut this shit. And I feel like that's when you come into people's lives. That's one of the things people learn from you. So let's see what you got. I'm going to save this card for the end. Yeah. So what do people learn from you? Let's find out. Oh, that's disarmingly sweet. You guys got love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Okay. Let's see what else you got. Oh, shit. Okay, you got Unfinished Symphony. So this is card 10, and that would reduce to a 1 as well. I like how the colors are kind of similar here, too. I think that's really interesting. But you got, oh, Sweet Pea, Blissful Pleasure. Follow your bliss and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. That's Joseph Campbell. You have the orange one, which is equivalent to the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Wow, you have the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. What is happening, you guys? And you have the Four of Cups upright. There it is. I'm like, what's going on here? Okay. Excuse me. Oof. So I'm going to say this, just take it as it resonates. For a lot of you, these lessons may have played out through romantic relationships. You may have a lot of past life or karmic cycles that play out in your relationships in this life, and these are unfinished cycles. These are things that needed to be wrapped up and resolved. So, okay, one of the things, sorry, my chair just like popped. That was unnerving. One of the things I think, you guys hear that? It's terrible. Excuse me. Oof, excuse me. My asthma is just so bad today. One of the things I'm really drawn to is that we have this Eight of Pentacles and this Page of Cups in reverse, but we have the Four of Cups upright. I feel like, so what the type of person I feel like that might come into your life, that might be attracted to you, right? Like, and I mean like attracted in the sense of like energetically attracted, but also attracted, because like, I'm sure you fine, is, I feel like this is somebody who, these are people who have had some really rough experiences when it comes to love, and I feel like they've become quite jaded. And I feel like they have learned that it's easier and it's better to sit on the sidelines, right? Because this is really about putting in the work, putting in the time, the effort. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Putting in the time, the effort, right? Really putting in the long hours in order to become really good at something, right? And the Page of Cups is very much about like sharing your emotions. It's like wearing your heart on your sleeve. This is like, you know, having a crush, puppy love. I feel like the people in, you know, who learn from you the most are people who have had experiences where they have been very, very hurt in love, right? And they have learned to sit on the sidelines. Like I said, like they have, you know, whether this is like they've had bad family situations and they just have never seen like healthy relationships modeled. They have childhood wounds that impact their romantic relationships, or they had like a really, really messy, really bad relationship when they were young. It made a huge impact. And I feel like as a result, because this is really a card that's usually about boredom, apathy, just like not really, you know, Spirit's trying to offer you a cup, right? Offer you this beautiful emotional beginning, this happiness, this blissful pleasure. And like the person on the Four of Cups usually is just not really having it. They're like, that's nice, fuck off. Excuse my cough, I'm sorry. But, you know, they're not having it. And it's usually, you know, with everything else here, this feels like this is something where people who learn from you the most have been very, very hurt. And they haven't really dealt with their shit, right? They might think they have, because the tens are always about completion of a cycle. They might think they have, but they have not fully, and especially with this being unfinished symphony, they have not fully expressed themselves. They have not fully, with the blue egg here, they have not fully come to terms with their own truth. They have not fully understood the depths of their emotions. And I feel like they run away from their emotions rather than confront them head on. And this is why I feel like whatever it is that you have with people, it's very intense. Whether you have this like really beautifully sweet relationship, excuse me, and they're, you know, it kind of opens up their heart again, or whether they're just like, you guys are, you know, you have a lot of bumps in the road, you have a lot of push and pull, a lot of back and forth. And I feel like part of this is because you bring a lot of love to the table, and this puts pressure on those wounds for people. So things that they thought were all over and done with, things that, I'm so sorry for the coughing, things that they thought they were over, things that they thought were no big deal, that weren't impacting them. I feel like you kind of like rip the Band-Aid off a little bit, because it's time for this shit to heal. And it's time for them to kind of do the work emotionally. But again, I feel like, you know, a lot of the types of people that you might attract into your life in a romantic context might be people who are just kind of aloof, a little bit detached. And this is because they've really suffered past pain. And they've really learned to associate that when they put in the work, they share their emotions, they wear their heart on their sleeve, they let themselves really love something and want it and enjoy it, that it gets taken away from them. And so they've learned to kind of play it cool, be apathetic. But the thing is, I feel like when it comes to, especially when it comes to romantic relationships for this group, people can't be apathetic about you, right? They are really pulled in toward you, but they also, like, you have a light that they get really like they just keep showing me, like, shoo, just like drawn to. So people can't remain apathetic about you. The relationships you have with people, like, I'm kind of getting like Pluto in Libra, Pluto in the 7th house, like, excuse me, you know, maybe Pluto's conjunct with your Venus or something like that. Or you have like Venus in Scorpio, or, you know, stuff like that. This is like, no matter, people can't ignore you, right? They have to deal with this stuff, and either they have to deal with it in the relationship with you by opening up, or they deal with it by needing to run away from you. And this creates like this, again, this intensity to your relationship. So if you've had a lot where you're like, man, I don't seem to, like, I don't get it, right? You know, and sometimes this can be us really acting out our own wounds as well. And I'll save that rant for another time. But like, I feel like for this group, a chunk of your relationships, your romantic relationships or romantic experiences in your life, especially when you're like, man, I feel like I was in a good place. I wasn't being like too distant nor too clingy. Like, you know, you're like, I'm in a good space. I'm vibing in a good place. I don't know what happened here. This is because these things were playing out. So if somebody just like up and left, especially if, like, you know, there's like ghosting, there are things that were left unfinished. I feel like whatever remains unresolved in people's lives when it comes to love, you come into their life, and what they learn from you is they learn how to close that gap, how to end that cycle, and how to close those wounds. And this can either be a very holistic healing, like happy, heartfelt, other H words, because I realized I just said like 4 of them, very like, you know, effusive and affectionate experience, or this can be very intense and very, very triggering, and it's because it's really putting pressure on those wounds, right? So yeah, you know, what do people learn from you? They learn where they still have unresolved shit, and they learn where they need to do emotional work because they're in this stagnant energy for far too long. So let's see what your final card is, because I like this actually quite a lot. I realize it's probably not fun to deal with, but you guys are doing important work. So, ooh, we have Boji stones. Balance. Yes, I am balanced, whole, and complete. Motherfucker, yes. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, I don't really have much else to add to this. I am balanced, whole, and complete. We were just talking about that Libra energy too. That's awesome. And I do want to say, this doesn't have to be romantic for you guys. This can be other, you know, other relationships, significant relationships in your life. But I am feeling for most of you, a lot of this plays out in romantic relationships. Yeah, I am balanced, whole, and complete. You help bring people into balance, and that can be a very triggering process. But people learn where they are out of balance or where they are incomplete, where things remain unfinished, and what they need to, you know, they learn from you where they need to do the work, or where they are still wounded, where they are still hurting. So yeah, I hope you guys are, I don't want to say like proud of yourselves, but like, I hope you guys can at least find some solace in the fact that what you're bringing to the table, what people learn from you, is these really important lessons that allow them to heal and to grow. And again, what everybody does with that is their own decision, right? You can present the tools and the opportunities, and if they choose to not do anything with it, then that's kind of, you know, what happens. But like, that's up to them. But, you know, I hope you guys, what I'm trying to say very long-windedly and circuitously is that, you know, I hope you guys can take some solace in the fact that you're giving people the experiences they need and the tools they need to be able to move on where they've been very, very stuck in the past. And that's incredibly important work. So I think this is everything I'm seeing for my lovely group 3s. If you are looking for a personal reading, all of my information and the link to my shop is in the description box down below. But other than that, I am just wishing you guys the best, brightest, most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye.